Welcome, crew, to another jam sesh. I've got today one of our absolute favourites in Mr. Steve. He's been kind enough to sit down with us and take us through his last sort of 6 to 12 months with the Influencer Project around what's working, what's not working, and how he's got the success he's got over the last, like I said, 6 to 12 months. Pleasure to have you here, mate. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you do it for, and what it's all about.
Yeah, thanks, Max. Business coach. I primarily work with small businesses, up to 5 employees. I love the personal interaction with the owners, particularly mum and pop businesses, as I call them. I've been doing it for 18 years as a business coach, and I morphed into business coaching after being very successful in my other business. And people asking me, how did I do it? But all the way along, as globally, the big problem is not many people wake up of a morning and say, geez, I know the business coach, I better get myself a business coach. So lead generation for business coaches in particular is always a challenge. I had been challenged for years and years finding clients until I came to the Influencer Project.
So specifically, what was why did you start with it? What was the specific challenge that you were struggling with? And then once you'd identified that, jumped on with Tip, what was the goal then? Now that you'd made that commitment,
the biggest challenge was just getting to talk to people, getting that introduction, because nearly every business on the planet needs improvement in one way or another. It's just being able to make that connection, and that's where the Influencer Project just shines head and shoulders above any other coaching program I've ever been in as a business coach.
Okay. So when you said, so you were struggling to get a hold of people or surround yourself with the right people to speak to who had these challenges, everyone's got them, but specifically, how are you finding those people? What was the goal then? What did you want to get out of this from a, say, dollars and cents or a business perspective? What were you driving for?
Well, 2 basic goals. It was to have a constant flow of leads.
Yeah.
And to turn over $250,000 in 12 months.
Yeah, right. So it's a pretty lofty goal. Where did you start? How much were you on when you started?
About 32,000 a year.
Okay. So yeah, had a fair bit of ground to make up, right?
Yeah.
No mean feat for sure. So you got started, then what happened?
It's interesting. I faced a lot of personal challenges myself.
Okay.
I had a lot of crap come up in my life from before, earlier in my life. And for the first time ever in any me as a business coach, having other coaches work with me, I received the support and encouragement from you guys. And at one particular sales intensive event, Andrew did a session on our stories. So business is not just about marketing and selling and making profit. Business is about what goes on in here, what drives us, what keeps us going. And from that one particular event, it made me realize that all the shit that happened in my life is just a story. So I could stay and wallow in my story, or I could rewrite a new and much better story. And I walked away from that weekend with a whole different perspective, and it was just boom, hang on, things started to happen. I just followed the system, implemented what you guys told us, worked in with you in the coaching sessions, and we're on target for 300,000 this year.
Wow.
So even 50 grand over. So what's that? 20% over what my target was.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a massive turnaround in 12 months. But so the catalyst for you was the mindset shift.
Yes, without a doubt.
So was it just a matter of sort of acknowledging that you had this thing there, and you could either make it mean something or make it mean one thing, which would stop you from excelling, or not make it mean anything, which allowed you free open space to be able to completely take on what we were about to create together.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I could wallow in my own crap and smell like shit. Excuse the French, but that's how it was.
Yep.
Or I could dust myself off and move forward. So the choices were pretty simple.
And once you did that, once you got out of your own way, and I understand, and granted, we won't go into the detail of what it is that you were dealing with, because it was some pretty serious shit. But once you'd got through that, and again, it wasn't over. It was just, you knew what it was.
Yeah.
Took it for what it was, and we were able to move forward. What did you do then? What happened that with that new mindset, that clarity of thought? How did you then behave? What steps did you take?
Oh, I just had clarity. I hired a remote VA in the Philippines. She does 99% of the work. By then, I had the system set up, so it was me setting the course, fine-tuning, the work that we were doing. Just, I suppose, being on point there, and as soon as a lead or inquiry came in, acting on it and converting them into clients. So,
right.
It was just took the fog away from my future.
But you also had another little shift inside of your offer as well, which sort of pivoted where you were aiming as well, right?
Yeah, give away the first two months free, and I'd always been scared of doing that. Well. Then I come to realisation, I thought, well, if I don't and I don't get these people, I've got nothing anyway. But if I give away 2 months free to start with, then it's up to me to prove myself to get those clients the results. And happy days, they stay.
Not only that, but you also changed your pricing too?
Oh, yeah, pricing went up, yeah.
What did that look like from when you started to where you are now?
Went up approximately $1,000 a month.
So that's and what you were sitting at about, what was it, about $1,000 a month at that point?
Yeah, between 1,000 and 1,500. Now it's 2.5.
So 50 to, wow. So 50 to sort of 100% increase in your price.
Yeah. Yeah. So the pricing went up, confidence went up. Oh, excuse me. It's amazing when you start to rise, everything rises with you.
Yeah, right. And then it was a couple of weeks, you saw a few drop in the bucket pretty quickly on that new pricing.
Yeah. It happened. All the ducks were lined up in a row.
Right.
And clients just started coming on board.
Okay, so you touched on where you're at the moment, but what do those results look like so far? Like how many clients did you bring on? At what per year, let's say, and then what's the overall take home at the end of it?
Yeah, there's 9 clients there now. So we're doing 25 grand a month. There's still a bit of a mix in different levels with them.
Yep.
So yeah, it's also allowed me to generate the cash flow to work on my other business interest. So, and the influencer project techniques and the things that I've learned through that just work beautifully with the other side of my business. So for me, it's a double win.
Yeah, it's huge. Like just to acknowledge you there on that one too, Steve, you've gone from say 33K per annum to 25K per month.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
With the coaching and the other side of the business, we're looking to tip the scales at about 900,000 a year.
Wow. So just it was copy and paste into the your other business interests outside of that.
32 grand a year to 900 grand. What's that? I don't know what the figures are, but
yeah.
But yeah.
And you sprung that on us late. We didn't even realise you were up to that. You were playing some stuff out in the background using the same techniques. It was an awesome surprise.
Yeah, mate. It was just once again after that session with Andrew about the story, I just divided my workday in half, and first half of the day I do my coaching and all the work associated with that. Second half of the day I worked on my other business. So very quickly it allowed me to gain pretty great traction based on your stuff to bring into this new business. And other people are doing similar to me are months behind me now.
Yeah, right. That's fantastic. So transferable.
It is, yeah. Rinse and repeat.
Yep, and yeah, I could talk to you about that forever.
Yeah.
But what, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself if you were starting over?
Oh, do it 10 years ago. Yeah. It's like the old story, when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a hard question because I needed to evolve this last 12 months. I definitely needed the support that you guys have given me. And I keep going back to that story thing from Andrew. I suppose to give myself advice for 12 months ago would be to, knowing what I know now, would be to focus more and more on what I could do.
Yep.
But just believe in the system. It's some people think LinkedIn, it's just there. Facebook's the go. Well, Facebook's to share the pictures of your fluffy dog and your holiday snaps, whereas LinkedIn, there are a few pretenders out there, but there's a lot of serious potential for leads, not just for business coaches, but right across the board in all different industries.
Yeah.
So it's just stay focused and believe in it and just do the stuff.
Yeah, totally. No, I appreciate that big time. It's you got to get out of your own way to give yourself the best chance to the goals and success you want.
Yeah, and it's a numbers game. You got to watch the numbers. The monitoring systems that you guys gave us are fantastic. It allows at any moment to be able to look and say, well, okay, that tweak that I did didn't work, or it's working fantastic. Let's keep going, or we've got to adjust it. So
yeah,
just follow the system and do it consistently.
How would you describe your experience at the Influencer Project if I could give you one word?
Moving.
And now you've said that, I'm going to need you to elaborate on it.
It's been moving in many ways. It's moved my mindset. It's moved my confidence. It's definitely moved my income. It's moved my business. All of those have gone up. It's moved my stress levels down massively. Moving's the word.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Any last thoughts before we get out of here, Steve?
Look, if anybody's watching this and considering, will I, won't I? I was on $3,000 a month. I really struggled to justify to myself and my wife spending money that we really didn't have to get into it. Believe in yourself. All you got to do is show up and keep on doing the stuff, and you'll get the results. The only way you can fail is turn your phone and your computer off, because the support and backup and accountability from you guys is phenomenal.
Yeah, the only way it doesn't work is if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. As I said before, I've been in coaching programs before for business coaches, and very quickly you become a number, just a piece of meat on the production line. We're totally different with you guys. you're breaking new ground in the way you support people. So really, really thankful to you all.